Hello, 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 hello. One more hello. How are you? How are you this wonderfully blessed Monday afternoon? How are you? I hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I got so many persons who were so concerned about me yesterday into this morning about my health. And I must thank you. Mwah. The love is mutual, guys. The love is mutual. I love you too. Thank you so much for all your well wishes and prayers. Guys, I tell you, God has blessed me with this wonderful, beautiful, strong immune system that nothing, I tell you, nothing stays on me. I am telling you. I get a bug and my immune system fights it, and before you know it, I am good again. Yeah, so I am back. This is the OJJ back at it again. Oh yeah. But yesterday I was so out of it, guys. I didn't realize how sick I was yesterday, because and truly I didn't really feel in my body as if I was ill. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I was sneezing and coughing and having runny nose. Yes, but it apparently affected my cognition because what happened is that I told you guys from the get go, I have a lot of YouTube channels. I do have a lot of YouTube channels, but it's just COVID-19 and it's God Himself who got me to be here doing what I'm doing, right? So one of my channels, Live Teaching TV, which I've had for years, I accidentally recorded yesterday's program on it. Oh my God, I could not believe it. When I was looking for the program on Omega Live, on the Omega News channel, I'm like, where is it? And then to realize it was on the live teaching channel. I was like, oh my God, I must really have been out of it yesterday. How did I do that program? Yeah, never a dull moment around here, is it? But I am back. Yeah, I was even looking at myself and I was like, oh my God, I looked like a wreck yesterday, didn't I? I don't know how I managed. Excuse me. Mm, thank you. Yeah, so um guys, I have a good program for you today. I have a good program for you today. I hope, even though I was sniffling and all that yesterday and sneezing, I hope you got something out of yesterday's program, right? And even though it was on the wrong channel, but those of you who got to see it, you got to see it. It is not available to anyone else outside the public in terms of the public domain because it's on the wrong channel. So I've not publicized it. It's only for a person with the link will be able to see it. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah. Mm. I'm telling you guys, the air around where I'm at is so polluted. It is so unhealthy that my mucous membrane is filtering the hair, right? Processing it. And it's just so much foreign objects, so much foreign bodies, coming into my body. I'm telling you, it is crazy. Sorry. And I understand why persons with less, immune system is not so strong, that they would basically have a problem and they'll be ill for days, if not weeks, if not months, right? Because the air is really polluted. My gosh. So, anyways, guys, as I said, I have a great program for you today. And so I'm not going to waste much more time. All I'm going to tell you is to call a friend, share the link. Okay. Remember to give me my thumbs up, guys, and subscribe, because with what was happening yesterday, oh my God, if you were not subscribed and if you had not hit that notification bell, then you wouldn't have known that I was back on when I dropped yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, but there'll be no dropping today. We're going to have a perfect program today. Right, Lord? Amen, amen, amen. Okay. But if I do, just hang around and I'll be back on, right? Absolutely. So let me give you the news. My 2 cents. It comes after I give you the news, right? So Jamaica now has 520 confirmed cases of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, according to a press release issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We have also recorded 6 new recoveries, bringing our total recoveries up to 127. And I have to give the big data people all the facts, right? All the numbers. All right, so the number of deaths has not changed, thank God. Still 9 deaths, no more. However, we have one person who is moderately ill in the hospital. We have 33 persons who are in the hospital and one moderately ill. For a couple of days, we had nobody who was moderately ill or critically ill, right? We still have no one who is critically ill, thank God. But we do have one who is moderately ill, which means it can progress or it can, diminish and get better, right? The person can improve. So we'll pray for that one person who is moderately ill in the hospital that she or he will recover soon, right? So we have 324 persons who are in government quarantine, right? Those persons like who are in the hotels in St. Anne, the Grand Bahia Principe and Jewels Hotel, right? Among others. And I don't know why they're not using Sandals Hotel in Kent Avenue, Montego Bay, because remember Gordon Stewart had offered it. But anyways, I digress. Back to the news. Yeah, and so we have 437 persons who are in isolation, including those who are in home isolation. So yesterday, in the 24-hour period, they said they did 322 samples. So it's out of that 322 samples that 3 came back positive, right? And the 3 that came back positive, they are all females. All 3 of them are females. Excuse me. And guess what, guys? All 3 females they came back on the plane from the US on Wednesday. Remember last week, Wednesday? Right? That they are tested positive, guys, for COVID-19. Nobody's surprised, right? 3 tested positive. And all 3 are female, ages ranging from 37 years to 72 years. And they were all asymptomatic, meaning that they had no symptoms. So now that brings the number of imported cases, guys, to 44. Number climbing, yeah, to 44. The contact of confirmed cases still stand at 201, with local transmission still 24, Alarico still 225, and we still have 26 that are under investigation. Total number of females is 315. Total number of males is 205. So to date, we have collected 8,515 samples, of which 7,930 came back negative, and as you now know, 520 are positive. Total numbers worldwide is 4.5 million. Over a million have recovered, and 307,000 deaths. 307,395 deaths. But that number is always increasing, guys, because it's worldwide, and every second somebody either dies or recovers around the world, right? Okay. So that's the number for my big data people. So let us go into the middle matter. Oh, what should I say about this? Let me say 2 things about this. Two quick things about this. One. So, they said the 3 new persons who are the 3 new cases, right, are persons who came into the island. And later on, which is the next story, basically, I'm going to be telling you about another set of expats who are coming into the island, right? So far, you realize we have had a total now of 9, guys, 9 imported cases, right? Just since within the past 2 weeks, right? 9, because we have 2 flights that came in. One came in from the UK, one came in from the US, right? And we have 6 that came from the UK, and 3 so far because they're still testing. So 3 so far. And I didn't give you my number of pending. Yes, we still have 65 pending, guys. 65. They know what I tell about the pending, right? Those are the numbers they're supposed to watch. Watch the pending numbers. We still have 65 samples pending. They will either come back negative or positive, right? So I'll have that information for you tomorrow when we meet again, right? God willing, absolutely. So right now, guys, you see what is happening, right? And is anybody surprised? None of you are surprised, right? No, I'm not surprised. And I know you shouldn't be surprised if you've been watching my program, right? This is expected, right? So you see why they have to, guys, go into quarantine when they come. They have to go into quarantine. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. And we can't take, because remember now, guys. Okay, so the process, remember we talk about this end-to-end process that the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Honorable Camino Johnson Smith, spoke of, right? That was put in place. This new protocol was put in place in terms of how they would return to the island, right? The circumstances under which they would return to the island. And so they have to go to Jam COVID-19 and complete the application online. And then they are asked questions. And it's in relation to the answers that they give to the question that determines, right, whether or not they are allowed to come into the island, right? Now, they would have been asked if they were, if they had COVID-19, right? There's an option there for the question is asked, do you have COVID-19? And then these ladies who were asymptomatic would have said no, right? Mm-hmm. And so they would have come into the island. But now here you find there are 3 persons who are asymptomatic. That means they have no symptom, but they have been tested positive for the virus, for the disease. Yeah? Okay. So it goes to show, guys, that you cannot tell by looking, right? That's why God is the only one who judge, you don't judge. You can't tell by looking. And it is why when they come to the island, they must go into isolation and not home isolation. We can't trust them to go into home isolation. They have to go into government quarantine, right? Which is going to bring me to the next story. So the front page headline of today's Gleaner reads, High Seas Standoff. I wish I could have had the opportunity to show it to you. It was big and bold, High Seas Standoff. As the government and principals of the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, owners of Adventure of the Seas, along with the People's National Party, the PNP, and Jennifer Howson, attorney for 55 of the arrivals, engaged in a battle of words, even as the 1,044 Jamaicans consider their fate aboard the cruise ship scheduled to arrive today, Monday, May 18th, 2020. The ship owners have advised that the ship will dock until at least Saturday, May 23rd, 2020. However, no decision has been made as to what will happen to the arrivals after Saturday, as the health minister has expressed sentiments that the health system is totally unprepared to deal with the arrival of the expats. So, what I want to do, guys, I want to give you the story, reading the full statement from the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, with regard to all of this. And then I give you my 2 cents. Excuse me. So, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, has asserted that there would be a serious breach of good faith if Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines intends to sail to Jamaica without notice or approval. Adventure of the Seas, with 1,044 ship workers aboard, is due to arrive in Falmouth on Monday and has announced that disembarkation would be around Saturday. By that time, some of the workers who joined the vessel from another ship would have completed 14 days on board in quarantine. Others who had been on the Adventure of the Seas would have been in cabin confinement for a month. The vessel left the Dominican Republic on Monday, heading to Jamaica. So it left out this morning, right? So it should get here based on what their the expected time of arrival, ETA, approximately sometime this evening. Yeah. But the Prime Minister is maintaining that up to this point, right, no date for arrival has been agreed. And this is a Monday morning edition I'm reading to you, okay? If it is true that the ship intends to sail into Jamaican waters without formal approval or even courtesy of notice, while discussions are still ongoing, then this would represent a serious departure from good maritime practices and the cooperative nature of the dialogue we have surrounding this particular. My feet has dropped. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. Lord, the government of Jamaica, from the outset of the COVID 19, thank you, Father, uh, from the outset of the COVID 19 pandemic, has been exploring ways to safely return home our Jamaican nationals stranded in foreign countries or on ships overseas. Oh my God, this place is noisy, isn't it? To achieve this, we established a controlled re-entry process, which has to date seen over 350 Jamaicans return home in accordance with our quarantine regulations. Now, the anticipation of being close to home on the final leg of the journey, right? Is the Prime Minister speaking, first hand information. Since April 21, the government has had formal exchanges with the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, RCCL. And listen carefully, guys, on how best to effectuate the return of Jamaican ship workers while at the same time fulfilling the minimum 14 days quarantine requirement. The last correspondence between RCCL and the Jamaican government was a request from RCCL made on May 15, 2020, that is Friday, for a conference call with a relevant agencies to work out details of the re-entry. That was the last correspondence. Up to this point, okay, and remember this news is between Sunday night and Monday morning. Up to this point, no date for arrival was agreed and no arrival was given. I indicated in Parliament last Tuesday, when asked by the opposition spokesman on national security, that we were in ongoing negotiations regarding the return of cruise ship workers. Remember, I'm quoting the Prime Minister now, okay? But those discussions were not yet finalized. To this point, the ministers assigned to deal with the re-entry of Jamaican cruise ship workers have not had any final request or even notice from RCCL of the current proposed date they intend to enter Jamaican territorial waters or seek to dock in our ports. I have been informed by the Port Authority that they have given no approvals to the ship. The government of Jamaica has noted postings in social media and press statements from the opposition regarding the cruise ship coming to Jamaica by a particular date. If it is true that the ship intends to sail into Jamaican waters without formal approval or even courtesy of notice, while discussions are still ongoing, then this would represent a serious departure from good maritime practices, a serious breach of good faith, and the cooperative nature of the dialogue we have been having on this matter. Indeed, this would not be in the spirit of the good relations Jamaica has had with RCCL over the years. We note a previous instance on May 1st, 2020, where a purported employee of RCCL was reported in the media claiming that the government of Jamaica had requested the cruise ship to pay a certain amount for the quarantining of Jamaican ship workers to be repatriated. No such request was ever made, and it was subsequently denied by RCCL. It is important for the public to understand that the objective of the negotiation with RC is to receive the vessel in a manner that is safe for the Jamaicans on board the ship and the public health of the island. Of the government to accept the ship. This can only be done when we have mobilized the resources to do so. We have seen the negative outcome and discomfort caused to the last cohort of repatriated Jamaicans when we make well-intentioned decisions without sufficient resources in place to properly execute. We expect to continue our discussion with RCCL to finalize the re-entry process, and we also expect to demobilize other quarantine operations later this week that would release resources to assist in managing the vessel and providing our Jamaicans with a safe and convenient re-entry experience as quickly as possible. End quote. So you hear full the Prime Minister's statement on this matter. So now, let me give you my good 2 cents on this now, guys. So, first of all, you heard me say it already before. There's no way that anyone at all can come into the island without being placed into 14-day quarantine. That's a given. That's a given, guys. And anywhere in the world you go, that's what's going to happen. All the other expats for their countries, right? Other than National Dominican Republic, Barbados, wherever they have been disembarked, all of them had to be placed into 14-day quarantine, right? Jamaica, no exception. Now, we heard last week after the return of those 200 and approximately 20 Jamaicans who came into the island from the US and from New York City and Fort Lauderdale, that we had overextended ourselves. You saw all those videos that went viral with regards to the bad treatment that they complained of, right? The bad food that they complained of, the lack of communication, etc., right? With only 200 persons, guys. Now, can you imagine what's going to happen with 1,044 persons? And where are they going to be put? That is first question. One. And two, how are they going to be, treated? Because we are quote unquote short of staff, you can see that. You understand? That's the first instance. We don't have the relevant persons in place to accommodate this 1,044, right? Secondly, I specifically remember hearing, and you might have remembered hearing too, the Prime Minister said last week that we would have to wait for at least another 14 days before we'll be able to entertain any new expat into the island because we are overextended. You heard that, right? I remember hearing it. Now, if it was last week, that means it's not 2 weeks and it's we're in the twilight zone. It's not yet 2 weeks that we'll be able to accommodate them. And Saturday might or might not be 2 weeks, depending upon whether or not there is available space for the government quarantine as it is right now. Because as I understand it, there are persons in the government quarantine right now who are scheduled to be released some point this week. But you hear the numbers I've been quoting to you guys about the persons who are in government quarantine, right? So therefore, it means we still don't have enough space for 1,044 in government quarantine. And I know all of those 324 are not going to be released by this weekend. But even if you were to release all 324 this weekend, and even if all those persons who are in isolation were supposed to have been released this weekend, we still would not have sufficient space for this 1,044. What a conundrum. And so I'm going to ask again, guys, and I'm going to say this again. What happened to the 24,000 rooms we have in Jamaica and that these hotels are prided themselves on having? You've heard the numbers. And remember, we're talking about register. We know there are many beds and breakfasts, many hotels that are not registered formally with the government. We know that, right? So we're talking about registered hotels in the island. 24,000 rooms. We have collectively, right, of all the hotels on the island, 24,000 plus rooms. And you want to tell me that we need 1,044 rooms and we can't get it? Guys, are you paying attention? I hope you are paying attention, because some of you would like to spend your big money at these big hotels. But you see what is happening? These hotels, they come here, right? And I'm going to be very strong with my words, yes, because they rape us of our resources, okay? And they take the profits and they go back into their countries, yeah? And now when time comes, when we need them, we're there. They're nowhere to be found. Huh? Guys, all truths are parallel. Also on the micro, so on the macro. So same how it is in your personal life. When you need a friend and you can't find a friend, yeah? When you were always there for the friend, but the friend only needed you, you understand? And what you could do for the friend. But when push comes to shove, they are nowhere to be found, yeah? It's the same thing. All truth is parallel. So here it is. These hoteliers, they come here and they profit off us, right? And then they go back home, right? And now we need 1,044 rooms for 1,044 persons. We're not talking about the future. We're not going to need more because we have Carnival to come in and Holland, American, all of these other Disney and all of these other cruise ships to come in. So one step at a time. We're only talking about Royal Caribbean now because they're already in waters heading towards us. as we speak. You understand? So this is the most urgent situation at this point in time, right? And here it is. We need some rooms and we can't get the rooms. And we just don't want the rooms because you're saying that you want to help us. And we have hotel workers who are at home who cannot even get the set grant because the P45 was not properly uploaded or wasn't uploaded at all. And so they can't even get the set grant. And it's an opportunity for them to get back out there to work, yes? So you give your hotel with your staff to the government so that they can do their job. You understand? Yes, I knock them when they are to be knocked. But if they're not to be knocked, I'm not going to knock them. I'm being very fair. You understand? And at this point in time, they are trying and you're standing in their way. Come on. Don't be so heartless. You're being heartless. You hoteliers out there. Yeah. You want to open the hotel industry. You want to open the tourism industry, which means opening up the hotels, right? So you want to bring in tourists into the island, right? To profit off them, right? Where our own residents, our expatriates who are coming into the island, yes, so these are Jamaicans who want somewhere to stay for the next 14 days. And they can't. You understand? Because you won't open your doors to them. I wonder if you people are really watching, listening, and learning, understanding what I'm saying to you guys. Listen to me. Post-COVID-19 must bring difference. I must see difference. I must see difference. You understand? With post-COVID-19. And I'm hearing there's people talking about no post-COVID-19 because it's going to be the new norm. Even if it's going to be the new norm, then part of the new norm is going to be persons are going to boycott. You understand? Some of these establishments, because they mean us no good. They mean us nothing. We mean nothing to them. You understand? All they care about is their bottom line, their money, their profit. You understand? They don't care about people. You see that. They neither care about the workers who work for them, nor us in general, obviously. Yeah? 1,044 persons with over 24,000 rooms, and we can't accommodate them. Rubbish. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that, guys. I mean, you agree with me? What do you think about that, guys? Give me a thumbs up, send me a comment. Let me know how you feel about this, guys. I want to hear from you, right? Let me know if I'm the only one who thinks like this, or if you agree with what I am saying here, right? I'm saying COVID-19 can teach us a lot of things, One of it to show love and compassion for our fellow men. And I'm not seeing the love and compassion. Father God is not seeing the love and compassion. And God is love. And He has put love in our hearts for our fellow men. Yeah? We ought to love. And remember, I said it all the time, guys. Love is an action word. It's not what you say, it's what you do. You could tell me, I love you a million times. It means nothing to me if you're not showing me that love. I must see it in practical ways. You understand? And practical way right now, if you love us Jamaicans, as you claim to love us Jamaicans, right, is to open up your doors, open up your hearts and your rooms for these persons who are coming in. Put workers out there to work. Okay? We can't be short of staff and we have over 300,000 persons unemployed. And it's more than that. But I'm talking about documented things based on what the number of persons who applied for the unemployment stimulus. Right? We know it's more than that. But I'm saying we have all these persons unemployed out there, right? 170,000 alone belongs to the tourism industry, yeah? And we need hotels with staff. Put the person back to work, yeah? Even if you have to work out something with the government in terms of subsidy, right? Because we understand that they might be subsidized because it's a tough time, and at the end of the day, while you should have been making profit and have some reserves, right? You might not have a whole lot. So what you do, instead of, if you used to pay them 10,000, you pay them 5,000. They say half a loaf is better than no loaf at all. I'm sure they would appreciate even a 5,000 if they used to get the 10. I'm sure. You understand? So whatever it is, right? Work out something. If something can be done, man. Every problem has a solution. Come up with a solution. Yeah? Oh boy. Okay, so let me continue with the news. That was my 2 cents, guys. Let me give me a thumbs up and give me a comment and let me know what you have to say about this, right? So continuing. So local priest, Father Sean Major Campbell, rector of Christ Church in Vineyard Town, has weighed in on the sermon of Episcopal priest Father Mark Bozuti Jones, which went viral last week after the clip was shared by Peter Touch's Instagram page. In the clip, the New York City priest invited congregants to listen to reggae music, specifically Bob Marley's Redemption Song and Creation by Peter Touch. And I'm going to read that clip for you in a minute, right? Even as congregations, including the diocese, were allowed to reopen over the weekend by the government, led by Prime Minister the Honorable Andrew Holness. Many services were held yesterday, but some buildings kept closed as church leaders bemoaned the inability to meet the government stipulation for reopening or on a matter of principle for being held to ransom by the government. Meanwhile, community bars will officially reopen for an initial 2-week period starting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 19th, 2020 at 11 a.m. In his announcement, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, the Honourable Desmond McKenzie, had said he was giving the establishment the time to meet the government stipulation, which included the installation of sanitation stations. So yes, you would have remembered, right, that the government last week had said that churches, quote unquote churches, right? You know, we are the church, right? Church is a people, not a building, but people, they keep on treating church as if it is a place that you go to, right? Which is why we're having so much issues. Church is not a place that you go to. Church is supposed to be a people, the body, it's people, yeah? That's the church. And of course, God being omnipresent, right? God is everywhere. So God is not in a building, which is why you can be in your home and have church, as they call it, right? So, anyways, using their terminology, right, they decided that they would allow the quote unquote church to open up yesterday. Sunday, well, it actually started from Saturday for those persons who are who go to a sanctuary on a Saturday, right? And so that would have started on from the 16th, Saturday. And so, but some persons did not open, right? There are places that open, like Power of Faith, for example, they open, but there are others that did not open because, right? And I won't, well, when I have that information, I won't say who, right? But there are some persons who be more on the fact that they did not have the necessary equipment to open. So, for example, some did not have the sanitation station, some did not have the thermometer that was required, right, to test person's temperature when they entered the sanctuary, right? And as a result, they did not. Of course, there were others also who, on a matter of principle, did not, because as far as they are concerned, the government cannot or should not tell the church when they should or should not open or or congregate, right? Of course, um, I could tell you my spiel on that, but that would take up the whole hour for me to give you my spiel on that one. So I'm not going to give you my spiel on that. But let me read. What I want to read is the actual article about the Jamaican pastor in New York. Okay, so a Jamaican pastor, the Reverend Dr. Mark Bozuti Jones, is being hailed for his conscious reggae talk from the pulpit as he delivered a sermon to the faithful about the positive effects of the music created in the land of his birth. The priest of Trinity Wall Street Parish in New York City, where he is the director of core values and also the director of Latin American Caribbean relations, set up some listen to reggae music and chill quarantine advice. He said, quote, I am not sure if you are aware of this, but it is written, and if it is not written, then it should be written, that the best music during the time of quarantine is reggae music. So you should be listening to reggae music at home. I want to invite you to listen to the two of my favorite pieces of music, Redemption Song, the final track on Bob Marley and the Wailers' 1980 Uprising Project, the last album released by the reggae icon during his lifetime. And the second is Creation by Peter Touch. The priest soberly quoted some of the lyrics of the Redemption Song. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book, right? His other favorite turned out to be Creation by Peter Tosh, which appears on Tosh's acclaimed Bush Doctor album. He quoted some of the lyrics of this powerful ballad, which echoes the words of the psalmist David. Right. The clip was shared by Peter Tosh's Instagram page and went viral, with the feedback being overwhelmingly positive, not only from the music industry. In fact, another priest, Father Sean Major Campbell, from Christ Church in Vineyard Town, expressed his delight and said, "His sharing affirms the value of our local prophets who spoke much wisdom. Sadly, on the local scene, we encounter a number of weirdos, self-declaring a revered status of prophet." Father Mark keeps in line with the prophetic tradition as he consistently speaks for the poor and the oppressed. He also stands with the reggae prophets who continue to speak truth to power. The father said, when contacted by the Sunday Gleaner, Father Mark told the Gleaner he had been wondering why he had been receiving so many calls about his sermon. He couldn't understand why. But now I know, after hearing about the Touch Instagram link. The good reverend, who wasn't even concerned about defending what some may consider an unorthodox sermon, noted that there is music and then there is reggae music, right? There is no denying that not all music is created equal. We understand that, right? We can listen to reggae music and learn from it, be uplifted by it. The sermon was really about the stoning of Stephen in the Bible, and then came the news about the killing of that young man, Ahmaud Arbery. And Rastafarians suffered the same kind of fate. So how long shall we kill our prophets? He quizzed. In the sermon, he asked the very same question, right? For Reverend Bozuta Jones, the quarantine and chill experience is a bit more than enlightening its congregation about the power of two reggae classics and getting letters to say that some who had not listened to reggae music before were now doing so. Again, reflecting Peter Tosh's creation, he stated, "Jah is my keeper." These words have tremendous import. It shows confidence in God as our keeper and our protector. We need not be afraid. The patriotic Jamaican urged its fellow citizens to use this time of quarantine to deepen our consciousness. He said, "I am sending a shout out to all the producers of music that this is a wake-up call to sing the Lord's song in a strange land and in a strange time. This is a new consciousness and a new proclamation of what reggae music can be and ought to be." And of course, the article go on to talk about him, his personal life, and so forth, which is not pertinent to my 2 cents. Yeah, so I won't go any further with that. You can, of course, do your own research and go look it up and read it if you're so interested, okay? But my 2 cents on this, guys. Can I tell you something? I really, and I know some people are going to look at me strange, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The Lord prepared me for this. Okay. He prepared me for this, believe it or not. Okay. And I agree with this priest. I agree with him. Yes, I agree with him. All right. Because we need to take God out of a box. Too long we have God in this box, and God is not in a box. Okay. God is not who you think he is. Right? And we need to take him out of a box. God has his people everywhere. Everywhere in the world, God has his people. You understand what I'm saying to you? And we are like you rightfully said, yes, not all music are created equal. And we do understand that there's some music out there that are not really music. Even though they put, say lyrics to chords, yeah, they're not music. We know that, okay. But we're talking about real music here, like what Bob Marley used to sing, Peter Tosh used to sing, Bunny Wailer and these guys used to sing. You understand? That's what we're talking about. Real reggae music. When you listen to those lyrics, they are. I love redemption song. I sing redemption song. You understand? And I ask the same question, you see. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yeah? Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Yeah. And I'm saying that, you know, we need to understand at this point in time in life, right? And during this COVID-19, I'm really not, I keep saying it, but I've not put it together yet. But I'm really going to have to do that program that I promise you understand, about all the benefits that came out of COVID 19. Yeah. COVID 19 is a time of reflection, guys. And I wish our politicians, right, and the leaders in private and public sector would take this opportunity to understand and to learn from COVID 19. And instead of trying to to rush to open this and rush to open that, just use the time to reflect properly, effectively, and look and see where the shortfalls are and try to make corrective actions, take corrective action before you actually, relaunch, so to speak. Yeah? Before you run and open the hotel industry, for example, you ensure, that all those persons who were supposed to have gotten their set grants got their set grants by doing simple things like making sure that the P45 is uploaded, and the government ensuring that policies are put in place so that when persons do not comply by uploading their P45 or do not submit their taxes on behalf of the employees after they collect the employees' money, that things are implemented and put in place to prevent these things from happening in the future. You understand? We're going to hear about what's going to happen to our students, what's going to sit their CXC exams, right, in July. Because the cabinet was deliberating, we're here, right? And so a decision is supposed to be made today. So I know during the press briefing this evening, you're going to hear about that, right? Hopefully, it will be to the advantage of our students. And you know what my suggestion was, right? My suggestion was for them to have the exam in July, work it out, and how you have to work it out, but solve the problem, and how you have to solve that problem, but you have to have them sit their exam. And I'm hoping that's what they're going to say. You understand? We will know later on, right? But you want to do in the midst of all of that, these are things that you want to be sitting down and looking at and trying to fine tune, to fine tune, make better the education system, make better the healthcare system, right? Because talking about the healthcare system, and tomorrow, you don't want to miss tomorrow episode, guys. You do not want to miss tomorrow episode, because of course I'm going to have more for you with regard to the story with the Royal Caribbean. But I'm also going to be going back to the Jody and Ferran story, guy, because new developments, and I'm going to give you more information. You know that we are not going to let it fall through the crack, because we know this country is always in a crisis, and that's why things are 9-day wonder. You understand? And so things fall through the crack. We're not going to let Jody and Ferran case fall through the crack, guys, because every single pregnant woman right now is depending on us to keep the story alive. You understand? Because they don't want to have a repeat of what happened to Jody and Ferran to happen to anyone else. You understand? And so we got to keep the story alive until a resolution comes out of it, right? And so I'm going to talk about that. But see, the breakdown in the healthcare system, what these things are doing, guys, are COVID-19 has exposed, you understand, the fact that the healthcare system is broken. It has exposed the fact that the education system is broken. You see, that's what this has happened. You get me? So it is broken. Fix it. It can be fixed. Fix it. Every problem have a solution. The solution is not to go and reopen this and reopen that. Like I said, it is to look at the problems that are there and fix the problems. Use this opportune time to do that. Yes, it requires buttoning up your belt, tightening your belt. Yes, it requires that. You understand? If you used to eat half a loaf, you eat a quarter loaf or 1/8 loaf. You understand? Just to get the things done. But the problem is, many of you don't want, you understand, to make the sacrifices that you have to make. You understand? You don't want to eat less. You understand? And you want to stay obese. You understand? Instead of getting slim. Right? If you eat less, you must get slim. It's a guarantee. If you don't eat, you must lose weight. That's just the fact. So you want to go on all these fat diets, and you want to do all this. Eat less, and you will lose the weight. Eat less, you will lose the weight. You understand? It's a guarantee. But you don't want to do that. You see? And so you want to run to open up and run to open up the industry to Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then what's going to happen? The latter is going to be worse than the former. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So, this is my 2 cents on this, guys. Again, give me the thumbs up, give me the comment, let me know what you feel about this story, right? What I've just said. We need to get away, take God out of the box, right? Understand who God is, and God has his people everywhere, right? And we are supposed to be loving to each other. That's what many of these people, that's what they sing and they preach, you understand? Equality. The inequality is just too much. You understand? We need equality. We're all equal in the sight of God. None is better than the other. You might be better off because you might have 2 shillings, but the money means nothing because COVID-19 has shown us the money means nothing. You understand? Health comes first. You understand? And you could have all the money in the bank. If you don't have health, you have nothing. You are poor. You understand? If you have money, right, and you claim to be wealthy, that's not wealth. Or you have all that money and you have no health, then you are poor. You understand? So the health is very important. So don't use the fact that you have money and think that it makes you better than anybody. It makes you no better than nobody else. It does not make you any better off than anybody else. It really does not. So use it wisely to help people. You understand? Stop thinking about the bottom line and think about people. God is interested in people. God made people. He never make buildings. You understand? And ships, right? And planes. That's not what God made. You made that. He made people. You understand? And he cares about people. He wants relationship with people, right? And you can't say you have a relationship. I'm telling you, nobody ever say to me, "Oh, you know what? I have a relationship with God." You don't have to tell me that. Your actions tell me that. You understand? Because when you have a relationship with God, it demonstrates in your actions how you behave. Absolutely. So say you have it and and you go on means nothing if it doesn't show in your life. You understand? In terms of how you interact with people. How you interact with people will tell the world, you understand, and those around you, whether or not you have a relationship with Father God. All right. That's my 2 cents on that, guys. Continuing. So let me give you this one, right? So yeah, and this is good news. Good news for a lot of persons. A lot of persons want to hear this one. The Jamaica Banking Association, yes, they partner with the government to make it easy for you guys to be able to open bank accounts. So let me give you the story. So as a result of recent amendments to the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA regulations, local financial institutions will now be able to adjust the minimum requirements to open a bank account. According to the According to JBA President Jerome Smalling, right, customers will now be able to open a low-risk bank account using their tax registration number, the TRN, and a government-issued identification card, right, which should ease the challenges currently being faced by some Jamaicans with joining the formal banking system. This will be particularly useful to Jamaicans who are beneficiaries of the CARE program, right? That is the COVID-19 allocation of resources for employees program, and the PATH program, and will aid in ensuring a smoother and more efficient disbursement process for all stakeholders. Bank accounts that are classified as low risk are those that account holders can declare a specific source of consistent income. You understand? So if you are working somewhere or you have money coming in frequently, consistently, through remittances, for example, but it's consistent, then that is considered a low risk. You understand? And so you'll be able to open those kind of accounts, right, with just your ID and your TRN, government issued ID, of course, and your TRN, right? This adjustment by local banks will impact a significant number of Jamaicans who are currently unbanked. He added, "We acknowledge that some individual banking institutions may have to adhere to other regional or international regulations based on their governance structure, and so may have different requirements for these accounts. These institutions will be informing the public accordingly." So, although this is put in place, guys, what he's saying is that not every single person will be able to do that. I mean, for every bank, because of the some banks, which are international banks, they have all the rules and regulations that govern how and who can open accounts, right? But by and large, right, especially for NCB, for sure, NCB being a local bank, all you're going to need is your government ID and your TRN. And we say thank you very much to Dr. Nigel Clarke, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Public Service. Thank you very much. It is you who have, spearheaded this, and we appreciate it. I'm sure many persons appreciate it who do not have a bank account and would like to have one. And I know I see this going around, guys, viral. This video about government wanted to open bank accounts, and then you see the thieves coming to steal from the ATM and steal your money. And I know it is, it is true. It is a risk, guys. It is a risk. Unfortunately, like everything else in life, which involves risk, it's the risk that we have to take. You understand? All you have to do is try to practice, good governance in terms of how, you watch your account. For example, with my situation, what I do, I have alerts. So every single time a transaction takes place with my account, I get an email notification saying that a transaction took place. You understand? So I know if I did not do a transaction and I get that notification right away, I know something is wrong. You understand? And of course, your money is insured, right? And so if it is that something happened to my account, then the bank is responsible. You understand? Absolutely. So it's still, quote unquote, the safest place for your money, you know. Yeah, I know it's a double-edged sword. And I know, yeah, there's two sides to the coin. I understand all that. I know the pros and the cons, yeah. But at the end of the day, the pros still outweigh the cons, really. So do have your account open. And of course, I got to tell you, okay. I want to get to. I'm going to end the program, guys, with with some of the tributes to that Dr. Oliver Frederick Clarke got. He died Saturday, right? And he has been getting some tributes because he was a great Jamaican. Was done a lot for the country. I talked about it yesterday. So if you have not seen my program yesterday, you can go and watch it. I know it is a little difficult to watch. Okay, and so but so I will just, because of the fact that the program is a little bit difficult to watch and it broke up so many times, I will say again, condolences and prayers to the family, friends, the media fraternity of Dr. Oliver Frederick Clarke, right, who passed away on Saturday. May his soul rest in peace. Yeah, so I'm going to program with that, as I said. But before I end the program with that, I got to give it a little international news here. Quickly give it some international news here. So, guys, J.C. Penney, right? I mean, anybody who was ever traveled know J.C. Penney, right? Because it's one of the places that you can go to get affordable clothing, right? Of good quality. Not that it's affordable, excuse me, but the quality is very good at J.C. Penney, right? You get nice Worthington, like their brand name, like Worthington, for example. Like I love Worthington. They have good quality. And so J.C. Penney, weighed down by debt and battered by coronavirus, has filed for bankruptcy. Sales at JCPenney have fallen annually since 2016. It's roughly 860 store footprint is less than a quarter of its store base in 2001. The company's nearly $11 billion in sales for the last fiscal year are almost a third of its sales that same year. The Texas-based retailer, which was founded more than a century ago, employed roughly 90,000 full-time and part-time workers as of February, guys. You see how many people are going to be out of a job as a result of J.C. Penney going out of business? The coronavirus pandemic has created unprecedented challenges for our families, our loved ones, our communities, and our country. As a result, the American retail industry has experienced a profoundly different new reality, requiring JCPenney to make difficult decisions in running our business to protect the safety of our associates and customers and the future of our company, CEO Jill Soltau said in a statement. Until the pandemic struck, we had made significant progress rebuilding our company under our plan for renewal strategy, and our efforts had already begun to pay off. While we had been working in parallel on options to strengthen our balance sheet and extend our financial runway, the closure of our stores due to the pandemic necessitated a more fulsome review to include the elimination of outstanding debt. The retailer said it has commitment for $900 million in financing from its existing first lien lenders to fund bankruptcy, which includes $450 million of new money. It had approximately $500 million in cash on hand as of the Chapter 11 filing. In bankruptcy, the retailer said it will then reduce its store footprint in phases. It will disclose specific store details and timing over the coming weeks. According to CNBC, The retailer is making plans to close approximately 180 to 200 stores. That's a big impact on a lot of persons who are going to be unemployed, permanently unemployed, as a result of that. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, the final one, international news. So, just give it to you briefly, right? Many joined call for independent probe into the pandemic as World Health Body faces questions over Taiwan's participation. But more importantly, more than 100 countries, including 50 African nations and all European member states, are backing a resolution calling for an independent probe into the coronavirus pandemic. Australia said in the run-up to a key meeting of the World Health Assembly, the WHO, which is supposed to happen today. If it has not already started, it will be starting soon. Australian Health Minister Greg Hunt was quoted by news reports as saying the motion was expected to be endorsed at the Assembly as early as Tuesday, May 19, 2020. Hunt is representing his country in the virtual WHO meeting, which is set to begin later today. Yeah. So, as a result of that, China basically has gone ahead and they have suspended importation from Australia. Australia supply China with beef, right? And so they have suspended four major beef suppliers from Australia have been suspended. No import to China as a result of it, because what happened is that because of the probe into the COVID-19, which we all know that they say it started in Wuhan, right? And so China took it personal, right? This probe, and because Australia is the one who is spearheading, right, the motion, they have suspended importation and now threatening that they are going to also withdraw their students from all the Australian universities. You understand? And the Australia University, that's one of their major revenues that they get. A lot of Chinese students goes to those universities in Australia. And so with the withdrawal of those students, it's going to have a severe financial impact on that country, right? Nevertheless, Australia is going ahead with their motion, right, to have this probe. They want to know. Everybody wants to know, how did this COVID-19 really start? Yeah? All right. So that's it. So now, guys, let me end the program. Ending the program now. So let me end the program with a few tributes from persons, including our Prime Minister, to the late Dr. Oliver Clarke, right? According to the Prime Minister, his tribute. For those who knew him, Oliver was more than a media giant. His role in shaping the development of the nation as a leader of the local private sector can never be discounted. And the opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, opposition leader, said he was willing to use what he had to reshape the nation for the better. It was his passion for changing the culture of violence which led his creation of the Peace and Love in Schools initiative. He believed in application of critical thinking and problem solving. This led to the establishment of many think tanks that elevated important ideas on crime, national debt, and other matters that were of national and international concern. And Garfield Grandison, general manager, said Oliver, while at the helm of the Gleaner, nurtured those under his wings to be meaningful contributors to the development of not only this nation, but also to be torchbearers of truth and justice. He jealously guarded the gains made by our forefathers in democratic dispensation of our society. I got a university education from being under the tutelage of Oliver, the kind you don't get in traditional studies. He was tough, but fair, all in service to this nation, which he deeply cared about. And get two more. Janet Silvera, she's the president for the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce. She said, Oliver Clarke was a titanic figure and one of the first to recognize that there was another world outside of the corporate era. He had a big say in the attention given to the region by the Gleaner, as his fingerprints are everywhere to be seen by all and sundry. As the coordinator for the Hospitality Jamaica, which focuses on the tourism and hospitality sector, I can personally attest to Mr. Clarke's belief that the entire Jamaica should get its fair share of coverage, and especially an industry as important as tourism. Rural Jamaica was never short on coverage, and it also gave many budding writers an opportunity to display their writing skills and to see their bylines in the newspaper. And oh, I should definitely give this one. The UN Chancellor, Professor Hilary Beckles, said, a high point in proof of our partnership came with a partnership between him and Dr. Clarke came in 2008. Its commitment was tested. He rose beyond the parameters of our request and offered us the opportunity for the university to showcase its enormous legacy during its 10th anniversary. The university was offered full editorial freedom over a Gleaner supplement that enabled it to tell its story and to project its thinking about the future. Oliver didn't suffer foolishness in his rush to support and promote good works. In this regard, he was an effective advisor and a reliable ally. And Omar Robinson, president for the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, the JHTA, said, we remember his fearless support for his country, his sense of humor, wit, and verve. Oliver stood out in Jamaica and the region as the quintessential news media owner operator presiding over an enterprise blending old school journalism with modern professionalism. He was a force for truth which stretched far beyond journalism and business. Yeah, and that is good, guys, when someone can die, and a lot more tribute. But I've run out of time. I've come to the end of the program. So again, over the next couple of days, you're going to hear a lot more tribute about this great man who has done, again, like I said, so much for journalism and for Jamaica generally and overall, because he was not only a journalist, but he was an accountant, he was a banker, right? And he was the president of the PSOJ. As a matter of fact, he helped to found the PSOJ, private sector organization of Jamaica. And so he has contributed a lot. And like I said, it is because of him why we have no information. We can get information from the government, right? Because of him. I said it in the program yesterday, right? Absolutely. So we hold a great gratitude, a whole deal of gratitude to this man who has really is a stalwart, and not only a media mogul, but a giant, as I said, a giant of a man who has done a lot to ensure, right, that we have freedom of the press, really, in Jamaica, and also that Jamaicans are informed, because I keep saying to you that the good Lord says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and he was the kind of person with his wit. He would always talk about the fact that everywhere you go, he was put a Gleaner, right? He's quoted to have said he would not be happy living in a Jamaica there was no Gleaner. Or living in a country, living in Jamaica, as a country, living in Jamaica without the Gleaner being in Jamaica. You would not be happy living here. That's how much, he loved the Gleaner company. And so we are going to miss him. He, as you know, he had cancer and he struggled with it for years. And finally, the cancer won. At the age of 75, he died on Saturday at 9:45 p.m. at his home in St. Andrew. And again, may his soul rest in peace. Amen. All right, guys, may we all strive to be like this great man, right? May we all strive to put our brothers and sisters first, right? Put people first. People come before animals, guys. You can be an animal lover, but people come first, right? Put people first, right? Put your brothers and sisters in before you. Sometimes you have to do that. You understand, right? Because guess what? That's what our Father wants of us, our Heavenly Father. That's what He wants of us, right? To love each other, to show love and compassion for each other, right? To look and see things that needs to be done and to implement changes that will be for the benefit, right? And comfort for everyone. Yeah? Absolutely. Each one help one. That's what it's supposed to be. All right. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's program. All right. I went a little bit over my time. Yeah, but I had to give you everything, right? And I thank God like had a full feed. There was some hiccups there I saw where the feed was fluctuating for a bit, but overall it did not fall, thank God. I was able to have the full session. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Remember, guys, and thank you for the thumbs up. Yes, keep those thumbs up coming. I saw the thumbs up. Keep the thumbs up coming. Yeah, thank you so very much. That means you enjoy the program, and I enjoyed sharing with you the way much as you enjoyed listening to me and watching. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go now, okay? And as always, I'm gonna tell you, make sure that if you have to go on the road, guys, make sure to wear your mask, okay? Remember to practice social and physical distancing, okay? But it does not mean you must not be sociable with people, guys. I see persons who are on the street and they're like almost want to cut their eyes, as you would say, at the persons, that's not what it's about, guys. It's not, when we say social distancing, we don't mean we have to socialize with persons or treat people any less than. No, you understand? We're just practicing infection control measures to ensure that we break the chain of infection so persons will not get infected and so the COVID-19 will die. It will not become a new norm for us living with us, but it will go, right? That's what we want for it to go. Absolutely. And we don't want any other persons to get infected by it, right? Absolutely. And so remember to continue to practice your social distancing and your infection control measures. Wash your hands after you sneeze or cough, or just basically it's just a good hygiene thing to do, to practice good hygiene, to wash your hands. That's just the norm. That's what you should be doing anyway. You understand? Absolutely. Okay. And make sure, guys, that you tune in again tomorrow. As I said, I'm going to have another great program for you tomorrow at 12 noon. So tune in. You don't want to miss it. Invite your friends. Share the link. Okay. All right. And remember to subscribe. Okay. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where you can comment, like, and share. Okay, guys. So I thank you again for watching. Go with God. Stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.